Hello and welcome to the Stanley Preview Show. We've got loads of exclusive content over the next half hour or so sit back and enjoy an inside look into Accrington Stanley. But first off, we're joined in Colleys by a man who has taken Sky Bet League 2 by an absolute storm this year. So Brad, first off, thanks for joining us, and how have you found the first few months up north?
Yeah, it's been good. The weather's bad, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm playing football in the league, so yeah, loving it so far.
And obviously, there's a big difference between sort of academy, and especially a club like Norwich's academy, to then League 2 football. What's been what have you found to be the biggest adjustment for you?
Probably playing against strikers that are 6'9", but yeah, probably just the physical side. There's some big boys in the league and they're all very strong, so probably that's the most difficult thing, yeah.
And I know you spoke, I know it happened very quickly, the whole transfer and loan spell. And I also know how involved your family are with your career and sort of following you around everywhere. What were the conversations that you had with your family ahead of the move?
I think it was just, you need to play football in a league, in a men's team, and get that experience. So I said to my dad that I'm going on loan, and he was like, yeah, okay, you need it. So it happened quick, and I think it was the best thing for me. And yeah, I think he enjoys coming up and watches the game and that, so yeah.
Did you know he'd travel to that every game?
Did I know?
Did you know that he would do?
Oh yeah, 100%. Look, he's been my number one supporter since I was knee height, and yeah, he loves it, and yeah, he's just, yeah.
And well, I think it's fair to say he's seen some pretty good moments already. And one of those moments would have been a certain trip to AFC Wimbledon, as the Reds put on quite the show in the capital. So here's how that night unfolded. So before I move on, Brad, I reckon I've watched that clip at Wimbledon about 100 times now. There's got to be a story behind that celebration.
Yeah, it's a little ongoing joke. Me and my uncle and the old man, we always play golf, and he said, first goal, you better do the birdie dance. So I had to, didn't I?
I seen Ben Woods was quite heavily involved in the golfing part.
Yeah, we played golf a few times, and when I said who scores first, one of us do it, and then it happened. So yeah. And
just out of interest, what are your golfing skills actually like? I don't know if you want to reveal your handicap, but
on a good day, I think I could play off, 12, but I've had days where I've played off probably 36. So somewhere in between there. I think Joe can back me up. Yeah.
And speaking of golf and Ben Woods in particular, we caught up with the Accrington midfielder who took us a trip down memory lane as we discussed life as a youngster at Manchester United and a supporter of Wigan Warriors. So here's the journey of Ben Woods. Ben Woods, you've brought us to your hometown of Wigan. What was it like growing up here?
Good. I love it. Not really moved from Wigan really. I've obviously gone up to Inverness a little bit, moved to Burnley for a year, but yeah, I always keep finding myself back in Wigan. I enjoy it.
And in terms of obviously your family and how heavily they are involved in your football, what was their sort of contribution to the early parts of your footballing life?
Massive. Like my mum and dad it's probably handful of games throughout my career from being about 4 or 5 to like 21 now that they've missed. So yeah, they've been up and down the country, been abroad, all sorts, and obviously my outer family as well, like my nan, my granddad is sadly not here. Like they've all been massive, all been a real big help, and probably wouldn't be where I am today without them.
And you mentioned before your granddad used to give you a quid every time you scored.
Yeah, Grandad Austin, sadly not here, but he used to always give me a quid every time I scored. And Grandad Brian now lives next door. I see him all the time. He's watching now every game on the stick, watches all the games, and yeah, just kind of puts a smile on the face, kind of getting to watch me.
Obviously, growing up, you got scouted for United and a few other clubs very early on. Just tell me about where we are right now and where you brought me for your first place.
Yeah, so this was probably the first ever place that I played football for Highfield Grange. But I think in this cage, maybe that one, probably both. But I was just saying, like, the amount of times like I've played on there is like mad really, and that's some of the stuff that used to happen in the cage. I used to just be like getting bastard off the cages and like throwing people into them, and like used to be a sandy Astro. We used to be sliding, cutting my legs and everything. But yeah, I had some good times in it.
There's an athletic track just over there.
Yeah.
What's your memories of that? Because I know you've done a lot of training. And
yeah, no, I do a lot of training around there with the likes of Trevor Painter and Jenny Meadows, who are like Olympic. Trevor's Olympic coach of Jenny, who was an Olympic athlete, and now they've got Keely Hodgkinson, who's like silver Olympic medalist in the 800 metres and that. And the amount of times I've trained around the track with them and around the stadium, Formby, Rivy, like that's been a massive really, like, for my fitness, which is a big part of my game. So this DW and Robin Park as a whole is like a big part of my footballing career, and it's kind of helped me get to where I am now.
And obviously as a kid you were playing football on here, but I know obviously a massive part of Wigan is the rugby, and I know you're a massive fan of the rugby. Yeah. Was there part of your childhood that was you actually playing rugby and looking to try and progress in that rather than football?
Yeah, well I think, might be wrong, but I think I had a rugby in my hand before I kicked football. I used to be like drop kicking it up and down the stairs with my dad in my old house. And then when I went to St. Peter's, which is a school known for like rugby, a lot of like the lads who've done well from there have ended up at Wigan. I used to play for them in like year 7 and that, and it was only because I got injured that I stopped playing. But my main focus was always football, but I used to like playing with my mates, playing rugby. So yeah.
So here at the DW, Ben, Just tell me what this place has meant to you throughout your life.
Mad really, I've been I want to say hundreds, maybe thousands of times watching the footy and the rugby. Had some good moments and probably some sad moments and that, but yeah, I've liked coming here, and it's a bit of a happy place, yeah.
So how far is this from your house, sort of distance wise?
10 minutes, 15 at the most.
And when was it when you started coming here?
Wow. I think I first started coming when I was 2. I had to sit on mum and dad's knee watching the footy. I didn't even have my own ticket, and then I got my own ticket at 4 when they got promoted to the Prem, and then ever since I'm still season ticket holder now. I came last night, but obviously with our football I don't get to come as much these days, but when the rugby's on I still come to most of the rugby games. So
in terms of the rugby, I know we've spoken about it briefly in the past, but where did that is that just part of being a Wigan lad?
I suppose, yeah. Everyone says it's a rugby town, don't they? So I don't think the football fans are happy about that, but my dad and granddad have been Wigan home and away since my dad was a boy, so I think that's just kind of in my family, and obviously it's been passed up to me, so I've been coming. I think the first sort of memory I have of the rugby was 2011, so that'd make me about 9, would it? I think so.
We'll go with that. In terms of the rugby now, does that sort of feel like a bit of a distraction away from the football?
Maybe you could say that, yeah. Like I do, when Wigan are at home on a Friday or Thursday or whatever it could be these days, if I'm available I'm always going, sort of thing. So you could say it's a distraction, but I do love football. I love watching football. I like football mad, but the rugby, yeah, it is like, it's something different and it's something that I really enjoy.
Obviously, your footballing journey in terms of club-wise started at United.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how that all came about and how you ended up playing for United Academy.
It's funny really, because I started just over there in the track where all the cages are. I used to play when I was a kid there, and then just over there's the soccer dome, which is now Wigan Athletics Academy, and I got picked up by United and Liverpool in there, and there was I want to say 4. Then I had the choice to sign for either, and I chose United at 9. And then I was there for 11 years. Got called up for England in my last year, and then signed for Burnley.
So who would have been some of the players that you would have played with at United? Just some of the names that you sort of grew up playing with.
Like sort of Anthony Lang, who's at Forest now, who's the year above. Tedden, who's at Luton, Tedden Mengi. Will Fish was my year at Hibs, and then the year below was Shortire.
Yeah. So then, obviously, the move to Burnley. What was the sort of thinking? Obviously, as a United Academy, obviously, there's so many talent. It's a very small number go on to play for the first teams. Then obviously that move to Burnley, was that sort of in your head a chance to really sort of try and kick on and aim for first team football as early age as possible?
Yeah, definitely. I think when I was at United, kind of last year, they signed Hannibal Mesri for about 10 million, and it's obviously my position, so it's kind of, you get to a point where you're starting to realise am I going to play for Man United? And then Burnley came in and they offered me pretty much a 4-year deal, my last year of school, and then a 2-year scholar and a 1-year pro, which was something at the time Burnley said that they'd never done. So they rated me a lot, and then I was obviously 16 that year, and then I played for the 23s that year, scored on my debut, and I was doing really well.
What's it like as a kid, being just 16 and all that going on, massively punching above your weight at Burnley, like you just said, playing 23s, and Yeah, what's that like for a normal kid?
It's good, yeah. I enjoyed my time at Burnley, but when you're that age, you're not really you're not thinking too much about it. You just turning up playing football, because I was still at school. I was training after school. Burnley had me in one of the days missing school, so I could train with a bit like the older lads who were full time. So it's only really when you kind of went full time that you start to realise like, this is what I want to do. So, well, obviously I knew I wanted to do that, but it's only really when you go full time that you realise you're not far off doing what you want to do.
Yeah. And then obviously the move up to Scotland. That must have been a big thing for you, a Wigan lad finally leaving Wigan.
Yeah, no, I turned my deal down at Burnley, didn't I? Because I thought I was doing well and I kind of just wanted to go somewhere and like start my first team football career, and I kind of thought it'd be a lot easier than it was, and it took me till about November, December for something to come up, and then obviously it was up in Inverness, which I think I've said to you before, when I first heard about it, I kind of didn't even know where it was, but no, I really enjoyed my time up there. It was, didn't probably go to plan on the pitch because I had an injury pretty much straight away that kept me out for a few months, and obviously I only signed a short-term contract, but off the pitch I've learned so much, and on the pitch, even some of the experiences on the pitch and just being in and around the squad that we had was unbelievable. Some things I probably never forget, like being on the bench against Celtic, Scottish Cup final, even though we didn't win, it was something that I'll never forget. So then, of course, what was it like in that move to Inverness? What was it like for your family, obviously, being so far away from them? No, it was probably hard because, like anything, my mum probably doesn't want a boy to move 7 hours away, and my dad's obviously the same, but to be fair to him, he came up every time we had a game, which was obviously a big commitment, but my mum and dad don't like missing any of the football matches, so yeah, he'd come up all the time, and Inverness is a nice place, so I moved away and obviously had to do a lot on my own, but pretty much every 2 weekends they were up for the weekend, so
obviously, in terms of your time at Aki, I know you've quite openly said that you weren't expecting to get into the team as quick as you did. How important was it to sort of take that chance when it did come?
No, it was huge really, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression, as they say, but the likes of Seamus and Coyley getting injured, it's given me a chance to get in, but I like to think that I've kind of give the manager something to think about now. Like Seamus is getting back fit, and obviously Coyley's coming back, but both really good players, so you've got to be on it every week to keep my position, sort of thing.
And just sort of ahead of obviously coming to Aki, how much does it say about you that you were willing to still aim high, at a high level? You probably could have dropped lower if you really wanted to nail down an easily first team position, but how much do you reckon it says about you that you were willing to try and fight for a position at a higher league club?
Probably says a lot. I kind of ideally wanted to stay in the Football League because I know that once I get playing, I can help Aki try and get promoted, because I know I can easily play at the level, and like to think that I'm kind of showing that now. But like you say, I could have, and I was thinking about dropping a little bit lower to just to play, because obviously I'm young and I need to play. But my aim was to stay in the Football League, and I'm glad that Aki have given me the chance. So yeah.
We've been sort of thrown in a little bit. Do you think that's probably taught you more than you could have dropped down? Do you think you've learned a lot more by being thrown in and being at a higher level? Yeah, probably, because my first start was against Stockport, and it was the Wham was full, and it was new to me, and obviously we didn't get a result that day, but since then I've kind of built more and more confidence, and I've probably learnt more straight away than I thought I would have, and the fact I've played the amount of games I've played already has obviously given me experience, and it's kind of given me
a good start to the season. Obviously it's a long season and we want to be up there at the end, so I'd like to think that everything I've learned so far throughout the season can help take into the rest of the season.
Now, in terms of your time here, I think the easy thing to say is surely you didn't expect it to go this well, but you play with such a confidence. Did you think it would go this well?
No, if I'm honest, no. When I came here, obviously a bit nervous at the start, and honestly I didn't think I'd play as much as I have already. But you know, I'm quite a confident guy, and I believe in myself, and I know if I do what I can do and stick to the basics, I'll be alright. So that's all I look to do really. I don't do anything like special. I just play my own game, and yeah.
And obviously, I think it's fair to say you've become quite a fan's favourite. I know the head groundsman absolutely adores you. What's it been like playing with supporters compared to 23s where you've got a couple of hundred at the most, really?
Yeah, look, the fans here, they might not be like the largest number, but to be fair, they make some noise, and you do hear, and it does help you as well. Like especially when you're losing, like, you just need that, like, kick up the, yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, it does help, and we just hope we get some more away fans, and because away games are hard when there's a lot of away fans, you know. So we just need more fans for away games.
And in terms of teammates, obviously coming into a new group as a young lad can be pretty terrifying, I imagine. What's it been like having Ships with you, and obviously John later joining? That must have made it a little bit easier. Yeah,
look, I've known Ships for God knows how many years now, and I've played football with him for ages. So when he first came here, I was a bit annoyed. I was like, you know what I mean? Nah, I'm joking. Nah, Ships is a good lad, and we get on really well. And yeah, it's nice to have like a familiar face around the building. So, and yeah, John, great character, and another one, like I said, haven't played with him long to be fair, but just knowing someone here is so much easier. Like if you need to talk to someone who you might not know for long, you know. So yeah, it's good.
And then I know you're young yourself, but there are even younger defenders at the club. Sort of Aaron Pickles, Josh Smith, for example, that are sort of coming through now. Is it a case of all of you learning together?
Yeah, 100%. I'm still learning like every day, learning a lot from just all the experienced lads in there. But the youngsters here, I feel like the club, the way it's ran and that, is quite relying on young players to come through. So, but it's good.
And speaking of the younger lads, the under-18s have been involved recently in the FA Youth Cup. So we thought we'd film a bonus episode of Inside Stanley to show how the night unfolded and how the lads got on.
Stanley victory here.
Now, as much as it kills probably most Stanley fans to admit, you're definitely destined for a very high level of football. How's it been receiving that kind of praise in what feels like every interview anyone does?
Yeah, it's a bit weird really, because it's obviously my first loan and my first bit of exposure. But yeah, I don't look into it too much. You know, you see all like the tweets and that all my mates send them, and yeah, it's a good laugh. But at the end of the day, it's one of them. You just gotta, you know, brush aside and just focus on the football. You can't really get too carried away with all the nice tweets and that, because you just get ahead of yourself. So I don't really look much into it.
And that's it for another episode of the Stanley Preview Show. A huge thanks to Brad for joining us, and as well to Ben Wills for getting involved with the content. With it being the month of giving, we're going the extra mile this month to bring you a piece of video content every single day up until Christmas as part of the ASFC Advent Calendar. So keep your eyes peeled for plenty of content across all the club's social channels. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.